Welcome to the Cardinal Squad Show. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show and host of Locked On Phoenix Suns. The Arizona Cardinals fall to the Atlanta Falcons. Did anything really change here, or is it just business as usual? We'll talk about it.
I'm Jamil Douglas, former NFL offensive lineman. How should we evaluate the coaching staff after the loss to the Falcons?
Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. On the heels of that, is it now officially obvious that if the Cardinals run the ball well, they cannot throw the ball effectively in Drew Petzing's offense? Let's get it.
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
Welcome back to the Cardinal Squad Show. We are recapping the Arizona Cardinals falling to the Atlanta Falcons 26-19, and I think like their 18th consecutive loss, it feels like, of the season. However you may be listening, wherever you may be listening, thank you so much for making this show and us a part of your day. Don't forget Locked On Cardinals Squad Show and Locked On Cardinals, free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. Just click that follow or subscribe button to do it. Thousands of Cardinals fans have already done. Become it every day and get locked on the Arizona Cardinals and the Arizona Cardinals Squad Show right here each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Hey, listen, immediate positive out of the gate. I wasn't sure the Arizona Cardinals were going to lose this game right away. Like, there was some drama to be had, which is a little different from the past weeks. Quick recap. The Arizona Cardinals lose this game. They were tied 16-16 going into half, kind of had some momentum, and then they followed it up with 3 measly points in the second half, losing guys like Garrett Williams, losing players like Budda Baker, as well as Walter Nolen. We don't know the severity of those injuries, but let's dive deep into this game. Clancy, you just did 15 minutes on an instant reaction to this game. Give us your thoughts.
I mean, it just looks different. It's the same, but it looks different every time. You know, like the Cardinals are able to run the ball again, can't throw the ball. I think the thing we can take away from this first is that it doesn't matter what Trey McBride does the rest of the year. He's fine. Oh, no, Trey McBride has done this. No. This is about Marv and Michael Wilson. Neither of whom had any sort of impact on today's game. Bijan Robinson had 175 all-purpose yards, 170 all-purpose yards, as we said he was going to. Overall, this is a team that looks like they're literally and figuratively limping to the finish line, hoping nobody looks their way, and hopefully the season ends sooner than, actual time would allow it for.
Yeah, another tough watch. I mean, I feel like I've been saying that every week so far, but the reality of it is they've lost 7 straight, including today. So, we've been kind of going through this process for a long time, but just a lot of shortcomings, man. I think at one point Atlanta had 4 drives of 10+ plays, able to kind of control the clock and convert, to first downs and things like that. And they were really good on third down, which has kind of been the glaring issue to me. Like we've talked about, we thought that we'd be able to hang our hat on the defense early on in the season. That's what it was. And now there's been, I know they got the stop to give the offense the ball back, but there's just been, I think they just got that chink in their armor, and they're not playing like the defense that we expect. Now, obviously, injuries, right? There's a ton of them. Unfortunately, looks like a few very serious ones, which is terrible. And I think probably the biggest one, Haji Froho did not come back into the game with the elbow. And so that's a huge part, even though the offensive line didn't give up a ton of sacks. But, just a lot of shortcomings in this game.
It's hard to evaluate this game because it was, first off, a lot of these players that are on the field right now won't be on the Arizona Cardinals next year. They had multiple players who knows? Like Xavier Weaver's out there running routes, and you've got the kid from the Cowboys practice squad who's returning kicks. And now the Arizona Cardinals are down to their 3rd string defensive tackle and their 4th string cornerback. And it's hard to evaluate. So I think the most damning thing of this is the Cardinals went into halftime with some momentum. They blocked that PAT. Yes, it's coming off the heels of a touchdown, but Calais Campbell, old man Calais Campbell, Clancy actually brought up a fun thing on Twitter. It's like he has more blocked kicks than Arizona Cardinals have wins in like the last 8 weeks. They go into the halftime, and it feels like they made no adjustments. It feels like they just kind of passed around orange slices and passed around some Gatorade and said, hey, guys, we're not down by 100. And it was really disappointing to see how they responded in the second half, because we know that these guys, regardless of how we feel about it, are trying to win. And the offense stalled out. They punted a couple of times. Michael Carter was fine, I guess. But again, you're left wondering, why aren't guys being utilized more? Is it Marvin Harrison Jr. or is it Drew Petzing? And at this point, what I thought was sort of a player issue and some injuries leads me to maybe a lot of these people were right about the coaching staff, because it felt like this was a winnable game. And at home, you kind of have the momentum in the second half, and you just like fart noises for the rest of the second half. And it just felt like that's kind of the way this was kind of the way I saw it.
So this is the game that, I mean, it's been the coaching, like, okay. I mean, I think the only real coach that had the spotlight on him in a negative way today was Drew Petzing. I mean, it's like, oh, so you run the ball well, and then the rest of the offense. I said it on the squad show or on the reaction show. What Jamil's always said, it's like there's no real identity here. Like they're trying to force a square peg into a round hole in the offense in its entirety, and those things are two separate entities: the offensive pass game and the offensive run game. It's not, and we're like a broken record at this point. And like, listen, the offensive line's been fine. He got beat up a couple times today, Jacoby did, but by and large over the last month, it's been a lot better. So maybe Justin Fry finally got his sea legs in the NFL. We don't know, because everybody's been hurt, and they've actually played pretty well. I would assume Jamil can attest to that, at least in some capacity. But overall, they don't make plays when they need to. He missed 3 field goals. Chad Ryland, 3 or 4 field goals? 3 field goals. He's turned into a pumpkin. Like the biggest thing for me the biggest thing for me with the coaching today: 1, Drew Petzing in the offense. 2, obviously still being conservative. When you're 3 and 100, go for it on 4th down on your own side of the ball, on side of the 50. Just who cares? Try it out. Could be fun. Nope. Punt away. It's like, bro, what are we doing here?
Yeah. That's upsetting for sure. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so you see this more as I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of saw it more the opposite direction at the Jonathan Gannon, Nick Rawless thing, because you allowed an offense with a backup. Like the Cardinals and the Falcons feel like the Spider-Man meme looking at each other. Yeah, the Cardinals have more injuries for sure, but they've got, Drake London, who's on a pitch count, just like Marvin Harrison Jr. was. You got Kirk Cousins, who's their backup quarterback, just like Jacoby Brissett is. And it felt like your defense at home didn't do enough to keep your offense in it. That's got much more injuries. And like we kind of already knew Drew Petzing stunk. Is it just the rushing attack for you that this is the first time that they've had any semblance of a rushing game and they still can't get the ball to their wide receivers?
Yeah, I already said that. But Bijan Robinson is the best player in football on the offensive side of the ball. It's not like this was, the Titans or something. You knew that Bijan was going to be able to beat up a run game that was giving up 150 yards a game to every team. Since they're bye, it didn't matter. So I think Nick Rawless, listen, Jamil, like I want to ask you this about injuries, because it's not an excuse, okay? It's now a main character in the story.
Yeah.
So talk to me about this. Yeah. Maybe you lose your best corner for 3 games here and 2 games here, and your backup corner for 2 games here, but then your best corner is back. And then you don't get your DT first round pick until week 9. And then he's gone. And then he's back. But other guys are back and other guys are gone. You can't gain momentum when chunk guys are out every week, and it's a different week. It's different dudes.
Yeah.
Right?
No, 100%.
Talking about the injury side. Or is it's being overblown?
No, it's not being overblown. I'm curious what is going on in terms of the injury. I've never seen a team deal with injuries like the Cardinals have. And typically when you do, there's a change in the strength staff. And I like when a team is suffering a ton of injuries throughout the season, typically the strength staff gets either chopped for that upcoming season or something. So I don't know. That's something to think about. But yeah, it's tough. You got guys playing, from different teams and your second and third options, and it's tough, right? But at the same time, like I think within the NFL, the most popular saying is it's the next man up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the Cardinals, that's been, too popular, but it's been a tough year for injuries for them for sure. I was thinking, I know Chad Ryland missed the 2 field goals, and we've talked a ton about, when is it time to do something in terms of whether it's coaching staff or players or something. Just an example, right? We watched the Rams and the Seahawks play this past Thursday night. The Rams were at the top of the division, but we know what their expectation level is for the season. Everyone's expecting them to be a playoff team, Super Bowl caliber team. They go ahead and they fire their special teams coach. They've had special teams woes the whole season. When a team is in playoff contention, they're saying, hey, this still isn't good enough. And so I'm wondering, where is that expectation or that bar set for this team being the Cardinals and so many shortcomings, so many mistakes here and there. The last pick to Michael Wilson, that throw that Jacoby threw, they don't have any timeouts. And so it has to be an out of bounds throw. If you do want to be able to conserve the clock, you've got to finish through the ball in that type of situation. He kind of lets up. It ends up being a pick. But I'm just saying, what are the expectations within the building? And when do you say, all right, enough is enough? We've got to go look for better.
I don't know, bro. I think we're well beyond that this year. So it's like, I saw that with the special teams coach. I'm like, oh, that's gangster. Like, that's badass. Like, that's next level. Obviously, you never want anybody to lose their job, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, come on. That tickled me a little bit. I'm like, really? You're atop the NFC and you're firing people? Like, you hope to get that to that level. But yeah, I mean, the Cardinals aren't even in the parking lot or in the state that stuff is happening, metaphorically speaking. You just got to string together 4 quarters of competent football on both sides of the ball. And they haven't done that, period, this year. Maybe Dallas.
Dang. Well, that's a good point. I don't think
Probably
they have
Dallas.
done that all year. Probably Dallas.
Dallas's rear ends in every single way that game.
Doesn't it feel a little unfair, though, to compare the Rams, like, just while we're talking about the competitiveness, because that's what it was today, right? It felt like the Cardinals weren't competitive for 4 straight quarters. Isn't it feel a little unfair to compare them to the Rams, who I don't know anything about their special teams coach, but their special teams has been bad all year long, and they are playing for something, where the Cardinals, it feels like a cheap shot. Jeff Rodgers has been there a really long time. You already know you're not in the playoffs, and you're kind of like, let's just write it out to the end of the year because it's not changing anything.
Well, I'm not saying fire the special teams coach just because. I'm saying just in the situation in which you got a team that has had a really good year, and that's not good enough considering what their record is and the trajectory that they believe the team is going towards. I'm saying, where is that competitiveness or that sense of urgency from the Cardinals? I don't believe that it exists. I know that, we're late in the year. It's kind of a wash, but still, like, where is that at,
Well, but then it goes like, is a sacrificial lamb going to change anything right now? Like, is that, like, listen, okay, you want to fire Drew Petzing tonight? Okay, it makes sense. You want to fire Jonathan Gannon today? Yes, win-loss record, 100%. It makes sense to fire Jonathan Gannon, rationally speaking. But what good is it going to do this season? Nobody's going to remember week 1 of next year that he got fired 2 days before the season ended, or 2 weeks before the season ended. Like, I understand your point, Jamil, because it's like always get better regardless of where you are in the journey. But man, they can't even spell average right now.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, and your point to the injuries, like, we're not doctors. We thought, and I was wrong, the first time Garrett Williams went down against Carolina, I thought that was an ACL. He ended up coming back. Well, both Walter Nolen and Garrett Williams looks like Achilles.
Yeah.
It looks like it. We're not doctors. We're not reporting anything. Walter Nolen picked up like somebody pinched the back of his foot, or he got bit by a snake. And that's never a good thing. And what is that, a year?
No.
Is that a year recovery?
Yeah, for sure.
No.
I mean,
I think
It's 10 to 12 months.
It's a season. I mean,
it could be 18. It could be 18 weeks.
Whatever. It's gonna be a long time.
It could be 18 months.
He'll miss training camp. I'll tell you that. He'll miss training camp.
He'll probably miss until Thanksgiving, you would think. If it's a year, we'll see. We don't know yet, but that's just awful. Insult to injury, obviously, no pun intended.
The Cardinals' season from hell continues. Does this change anything? We saw the report from Ian Rappaport over the last couple of days that it feels like the Cardinals head coaching and the head coach is safe. We'll see what they do elsewhere. Does this loss change anything? And should it? We'll talk about that next. Today's episode is brought to you by CarGurus. Car shopping should feel exciting, not confusing. And with CarGurus, you get the confidence you deserve. They cut through all the noise so you can actually see the best deals on the cars you want. Because when it comes to a big purchase, you deserve the best deal. And CarGurus makes the whole process simple by giving you real information, real deal ratings, and more listings than anyone else. So you can shop the way you want. Use CarGurus deal ratings to compare cars quickly without having to guess whether the price is fair. You'll love being able to filter by everything, mileage, trim, features, so you're only seeing cars that you actually fit what you need. CarGurus connects you with trusted dealerships for a transparent and hassle-free buying process. With over 4 million listings, the most of any major online automotive marketplace, you'll always find the best deal. Shop the way you want with the tools, data, and unbiased data ratings that make it easy. Buy or sell your next car today at CarGurus.com. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com. So we saw the report that came out from Ian Rappaport, kind of giving a granular scheme of all things NFL coaching, who's on the hot seat, who could be losing their job, who are the teams still determining on. It kind of felt like Ian Rappaport went the route of the Cardinals are probably going to run it back with Jonathan Gannon. Now, that was before this game against the Falcons. And, you're putting together all the reporting, and Clancy makes a really nice point. It kind of feels like everyone's kind of has some bit of information, but not the truth. We saw Albert Breer basically report that the Arizona Cardinals are going to see what happens these last couple of games. I guess you could say they were competitive today, but they ended up losing. Should it change anything in Jonathan Gannon and his proverbial hot seat, Clancy?
No. Either he was going to come back or he wasn't before this game. It's already decided. Unless they lose 75-0 each of the next 2 weeks and Jonathan Gannon takes his shirt off and dances around like Antonio Brown, he's either going to be fired or he won't. We already know what it's going to be. So to answer the question plainly, no. The Ian Rappaport thing is fascinating because I've pivoted. I'm like, all right, he's got to go. Like, there's too much damning evidence, even with injuries there, for him to not be retained as a head coach. And now Jamil started it after being where I was last week. He was there 2 weeks ago, and he got there last week where I got this week, where it's like, it's time. He's got to go. But I still think that there's an overwhelming idea that he'll be back because of the injury specifically.
You guys know where I stand on this in terms of it doesn't change anything for me. I mean, I think that
Jonathan Gannon sent the black SUVs to stop Jamil from talking there. We'll get Jamil back on in just a second. No, just kind of jumping on to Jamil's point there is it kind of feels like, and to you as well, Clancy, that Jonathan Gannon is probably going to keep his job. The idea that should he kind of feels what is kind of nice to know this is that Michael Bidwill has already made up his mind. And I always thought it was rubbish or nonsense to kind of just say Jonathan Gannon could keep his job if he does so-and-so to end the season. But the same things are rearing their head every single week. We have to just talk about it in different ways where they kind of feel ill-prepared. And when they do come out and they, take a 10-0 lead in this game, they go into halftime, they don't make the adjustments you want to see. And then ultimately at the end of the day, it doesn't pan out for them and they lose another game. It's really hard to juggle the injury concern and Jonathan Gannon and if he could keep his job. how much of it now with the Walter Nolen injuries and the Garrett Williams injuries, do you think Michael Bidwill factors that into it in today's game where it's like maybe they win if they have these guys?
No, I think injuries are injuries, and they're not. If he was going to get fired, he's going to get fired. If he wasn't, he won't. Like, we can talk about it,
guys.
Like,
sorry.
Oh, it was actually kind of. Actually, it wasn't. That was scary.
Nice. They tried to hold me back.
Jamil, I said that Jonathan Gannon sent the black SUVs to your house to cut your internet.
Yeah, I dealt with all of those guys outside really quick. Listen, Can I get my point off?
Please. I want nothing more.
He's got to go. That's it. He's got to go.
Jamil, what I lofted up to Clancy before Jonathan Gannon came and cut the cord at your house was the injury thing is obviously a reason they're not great. How much of a reason, we don't know. But like today, when you're evaluating the Cardinals, you can say that, hey, game looked good. They were up 10 points. They were tied. And then they lose Garrett Williams. They lose Budda Baker. They lose Walter Nolen. Yodafro went out. Hayden Connor comes in. Then Yodafro comes back in. And it's kind of revolving door of center and who else is there. That's my point of like, how much do you weigh in that? Because it is a reason, although it's not everything. Sure.
Yeah, it's a reason. But we've seen injury-ridden teams squeak out a win. We've seen injury-ridden teams not have a 7-game losing streak. And so I believe that this team still has a lot of talent on it, even with the injuries. And they've had opportunities to either put games away or tie close games, whatever the case may be. I know there hasn't been a ton of them, but they have had those opportunities and they haven't cashed in on them. The biggest thing for me, like I said, this is a defensive-minded head coach. That's not hitting enough for me. I don't get the spark that I need from a defensive-minded head coach for this team. And so I think you have to start fresh. I think that there's I don't know. I just don't feel like he's going to get it done.
Most head coaches don't work out, right? Most coordinators fail. So when you look at like,
what do you mean by that?
Most head coaches aren't a head coach for more than a handful of years. Like, listen, coaching,
I agree with what he's trying to say.
Cutthroat than it's not almost. It's in the arena, different section, different row. It's 101 and 205, whatever. Like, it's cutthroat just like playing is, but you have no control over what happens outside of calling the plays and coaching between Monday to Saturday. It's like with Jonathan and listen, I'm not going to get like abstract, Descartes crap here. It's like he should be fired and he should be back for another year.
Well, that doesn't work.
I know. So all the fans, the people in the chat and everything, fire everybody. It's a kick in the face to the fan base. You think Michael Bidwill cares about the fans? Like, let's be honest. Michael Bidwill doesn't give a rip except for his bottom line. So when it comes to that, I'm sorry, that's not really in the cards for Michael Bidwill making decisions. He's going to do what makes him look best. When it comes to this, I don't see a world where they're going to fire him at this point, even though I agree that they should. So for them to fire him, that means Michael Bidwill would think a year early instead of a year too late. And he's never once done that before. He extended Cliff. And then he fired him before the extension kicked in.
Sorry, guys. If you told me that at the beginning of the season, the Cardinals would have the same record as the Jets, I would have laughed. Belly laughed.
Clancy would have called it aliens.
Yeah. No, I feel duped, man. Now, Jamil, you've played for some functional organizations and you've played for some of the most dysfunctional organizations.
Oh, yes.
And when you played, so outside of the one where there's no state tax, which isn't super functional, you had the Patriots, which was functional irrespective of when it was you were in that wheelhouse of the time. Okay. Buffalo. You were there. Was Sean McDermott the head coach?
Yes.
Okay, so functional Bills at that point. It wasn't before. Sean McDermott, Brian Daboll ushered in functionality. Vrabel. So actually, you played for many more functional than dysfunctional. So Vrabel in 2017, it was only the one with the jersey on your wall where it's like, what are we doing here, guys? And I'm saying that, not you. What is the difference? Is it bad weather? You have a bit more functional. Good weather, there's more to do, so players can do more. Like, what the hell is it that makes a functional organization functional and dysfunctional one dysfunctional?
I think it's just I mean,
yeah, it's harder just to answer.
The head coach, to be honest, like your head coach, the coaches that I've played for that have been functional head coaches are culture builders. They build the culture within the organization, but it also trickles into offense and defense. It's a thing where, you know, in Tennessee with Mike Vrabel, our offense played like Mike Vrabel and our defense played like Mike Vrabel. It was just it was an expectation and it was a standard in which you set that you know, we were going to have hungry, and I'm not saying that the Cardinals don't, because I do believe they've got some really good players, but I don't think that the culture has been established to the point of like, what is our goal in this? Like, what are we aiming for? I feel like I've told you guys a couple of weeks ago, I feel like the bar has been set really low. And that's my problem with bringing Jonathan Gannon back. If you go and win 6 games next year, you're going to say, oh, it was better than last year. Like, you can go ahead and hire somebody else and win 6 games, have another tough year, but get somebody that you believe, and maybe they do believe that he's a fit. But I think you get somebody that you believe is going to establish the culture, going to develop players, and is going to be. I think they could be much better situationally. I don't see a lot of situational awareness with the Cardinals as far as situational football.
So go ahead.
I don't. It feels like it starts everywhere in the front office. Like it feels like Jonathan Gannon shouldn't just be getting all the blame. It should be a little bit of Monti Ossenfort too. Like, I don't understand getting rid of just part of the regime. It feels like it needs to be all or nothing, because I understand the injury argument with Jonathan Gannon, but the biggest thing is, one, either the draft picks aren't very good that they are getting on this team, most of them, or it's a coaching problem and they're not developing. Garrett Williams has regressed. Pre-injury, he has regressed. Marvin Harrison Jr. has regressed. Darius Robinson, where has he been? I think Paris Johnson Jr. from last year to this year has taken a little bit of a step back. Not massive. Some of that probably has to do with the offensive tackle woes, but like, it can't just be it's just Gannon, right? It's got to be it's a little bit of everything. And I feel like some people are dodging some blows here on a team that got out-coached by an also staff that is fighting for their jobs too.
Exactly.
So it's either get rid of all of it or don't get rid of any of it. It feels like that's where I'm kind of at. Clancy, I know you're very pro Monty. Let me hear what you have to say.
Well, it's funny how people talk out both sides of their mouth. They're like, it has to be Marv, and then, oh, fire him because he drafted Marv. Stop it. Like, you can't be results oriented all the time when it comes to this. He was statistically the best, highest rated prospect to come out of the draft ever in the eyes of some of the people I trust the most in very high places in that space. Okay, so it's not like, well, if Monti Ossenfort took Joe Alt and not Marvin Harrison Jr., State Farm Stadium would have been burned down by fans outside. Okay, so relax. Fans have it's very interesting. Media members alike, it's like, well, oh, it should have been Marv. No, offensive line, no, it's Marv for sure. Oh, Marv's not working out, fire everybody. It's like, no. All GMs can do is crunch numbers, watch tape, scout, and draft based upon it. Monti Ossenfort is by far the least impeachable position of anybody. He's the least. Did he think that Walter Nolen, who didn't have a history of injury, was going to get hurt in camp? Darius Robinson the same. Marvin Harrison Jr. the same. He drafted Garrett Williams in the 3rd round. Garrett Williams was a 1st-round pick.
Well, he also
dropped to the 3rd round.
To be fair, Garrett Williams had an injury history, tore his ACL, but two,
as I just said, he dropped to the third round. He would have been a first rounder if he didn't tear his ACL in December.
I haven't mentioned the injuries at all in any of those.
Because Monti Ossenfort didn't draft a bunch of dudes who were injured the whole year. In college, Will Johnson dropped to the second round. Anybody's taking Will Johnson in 46 there. It's like he can only take great players in positions. By and large, he's done a much better job, especially compared to what Steve Keim did.
Yeah, well, we're not comparing him to Steve Keim. Yeah, Steve Keim is terrible. That's not what I'm doing. All I'm doing is there needs to be some accountability held, because the draft for Paris Johnson Jr., with Paris Johnson Jr. has obviously been a hit, even if I think he's taken a small step back. Half those players aren't playing. Max Melton, he's been benched.
That was a bad one.
Jones, where's he at? Like, there is a multitude of guys, and I've already listed before. Darius Robinson has been terrible. He was fine today. He's been terrible. Mostly. Marvin Harrison Jr., for where he was drafted, has been terrible. And for the people that told me the 900 yards last year, I'm like, okay, that's not good enough, and it still hasn't been good enough. And Michael Wilson's been good. Great. Like, there are a couple, but I'm not saying to fire Monty. I'm just saying it feels unfair to go after just Gannon when the talent we keep on citing hasn't been good. And Jamil, yeah, you kind of went back and forth here. Welcome to the hell of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm really curious what you think.
I don't know, man. You guys got me stumped right now. I think I don't know. I think it's a double-edged sword, to be honest. I mean, there's, a little mud on each one's hands, and Monty in terms of depth, but you don't know what you don't know in terms of, like, guys getting hurt and things like that. And Jonathan Gannon's he can only put the guys out there that are given to him. And so that being said, I do still think that they've been outcoached in games where they shouldn't be outcoached. And like you said, with the Falcons, like, the Falcons are not, even though they've got some dynamic players and they got an exciting roster, the Falcons have not been one of the teams that you could say, oh yeah, they're just well coached and, they go in and win. This was one of those games, and we talked about that. This was one of those games, and then next week's one of those games where I thought that we'd be able to see Jonathan Gannon and the staff put together a plan that says, versus teams that we feel like we're equivalent with right now, we'll come away with a win. But I don't know, man. It's just not. We're just not. We can't do this every week. Can't do it every week.
Well, let's talk about some pauses from today's game. I know not everyone wants to talk about some of the good things that happened today when there was some bad, but the Arizona Cardinals offensive line continues to develop. The defense in some points looked good. Denzel Burke, another interception. He's in prime company with Patrick Peterson. We'll talk about that much more next. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, the receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. I want to start with the offensive line since we got our defender of the offensive line on the show each and every week. Let me just ask you this. The offensive line has progressed each and every week. It's, over the last couple of weeks where it was really bad dating back to like week 8. What do you think is different, Jamil, that has helped them take a little bit of a step up? Is it Jonah Williams isn't there anymore? Is it the progression of John Gaines? Paris Johnson Jr. hasn't been there the last couple of weeks, and you've noticed it because he's a good player, but not to the degree that I thought we might. Let's say you.
Are we speaking in terms of like from which game on are we saying? Are we saying from the Texans to this week because of the like not giving up the amount of sacks that we thought? Is that what we're saying in terms of the offensive line looking better?
Well, I think as a whole, since Paris Johnson Jr. has went out,
Yeah.
we assumed it was going to be doomsday because what we had seen before, dating back to like the Seahawks game, was a party in the backfield for defenses.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what it is you've seen. Like Josh Fryer has played better than we thought. John Gaines has played better than we thought.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I just think, I mean, sometimes you can't really put your finger exactly on what it is. I think they've gotten opportunities to come in and play, and they've done a good job. One thing I will say about, the offensive line, just watching them, like, they play hard. Like, this isn't a group that has thrown in the towel. And for that, I think people got to give them a pat on their back. And I know you don't typically do that with offensive lines when you're not having a good season, but it would be easy for these guys to give up 5 sacks a game with how many times they're throwing the ball. But you don't see that with them. You see a lot of effort. Even in the run game today, like they were moving guys, they're getting out on the perimeter. They ran power a few times and increased, like those type of things are big positives. I don't know if it's, Justin Fry finally getting the guys to believe in what he's doing after a long season, but they have been consistently better over the last few weeks, and that's a good sign considering that their depth has been challenged throughout the season.
What's the one difference from this week in the last 3 weeks combined?
I mean, the game was a game.
Yeah, and the running game has been better.
Yeah, they were able to run the ball today.
Yeah,
I mean that's why
what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean that was it. It was Michael Carter. Like, I'm starting to not understand why Michael Carter isn't just RB2 come week 1 of next year. Like, all he does at the end of seasons is just produce as RB1. I know the season's lost, but like he's been more productive when given opportunities than Trey Benson has by and large. I know that it's different, and the seasons are over. Like, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. Yeah. I completely understand it. But just like I've been waiting for them to use Greg Dortch between start of week 1 and when they're out of playoff contention, maybe Michael Carter makes the roster next season. But positive for me, yeah, the sack numbers were down, obviously, because they ran the ball more. And, Atlanta's pass rush is fine, but they held it at bay. A big positive for me is that Atlanta won today, so the Rams are now picking 11th. That's a positive. Instead of the Cardinals getting leapfrogged by the Rams, which could have happened because the Rams have the Cardinals pick. For those really quick who are tankathon watching, the Cardinals still have the sixth pick in the draft because they're 1/100th of a point tougher strength of schedule than Tennessee, who won today. So this could get weird. You think the Cardinals probably going to lose out. So they get some luck from the teams up front. They could catapult up the list, but right now they're at 6. Positive for me is Will Johnson looked really good. I think that's the biggest positive takeaway. The dude's going to be a stud. The dude's going to be an absolute star outside corner for this team.
Well, it wasn't just him either. I was trying to find the statistic that Mark Dalton put out for.
He has 3 interceptions for Denzel Burke.
Yes.
3 interceptions. Patrick Peterson is the last rookie quarterback to have 4 in his rookie season.
That was Denzel Burke, who has quietly, sneakily had a pretty good campaign. It's what Mark Dalton put out exactly with that pick. With that pick off Kirk Cousins, Cardinals cornerback Denzel Burke has 3 this year. He's just the 4th Cardinal rookie since 1988 with 3 interceptions in a season, and 1st since Patrick Peterson since 2011. Now, that could be a major bright spot for the Cardinals because we don't know what's going to happen with Garrett Williams with whatever this injury could be. Hopefully, hoping for the best, but Denzel Burke was one of those stud players his freshman year out of Ohio State, had a couple of down seasons, fell to the 5th round. If he's that diamond in the rough that Monti Ossenfort might have found and giving him that credit, Will Johnson, Denzel Burke, those 2 for years to come, bigger corner, like that's a good place to be, especially in a place where you're not really sure what you have in Garrett Williams right now. And then you talk about that secondary where you're like, hey, maybe you just trust Monty to draft secondary guys. Rabbit Taylor Demerson, Denzel Burke, Will Johnson, and Garrett Williams for a long time until he got injured. So the defense continues to get dudes outside of those things. Michael Wilson had a big catch today. Was there much else from the positives in today's game? Which also kind of, here's the other thing that kind of worries me about that, is it was the closest game they've played in weeks. And those were the two things I had circled. Well, the three things. Will Johnson played well. Denzel Burke played well. And the offensive line progressed.
Yeah, and Elijah Higgins had a really solid game as well.
He's good.
7 for 92 or 91 yards.
A lot of dump
something
offs, yeah.
like that. Yeah, he looked like, a really good player today. Yeah, that's all the positives that I got. If I can slide over to the negative side really quick.
Yes.
That catch or the what should have been catch by Marv in the end zone shot. That play right there is why we have the conversations that we have every time his name pops up. He has to come down with that. It's a one-on-one coverage.
Good throw.
Great throw. I mean, the ball hit him right in the numbers. That is the play that number one receivers make. That is the play that first round draft picks make. That is a play that top 5 picks make on the number one corner for the defense. Like that to me was just symbolized what, all the questions that we always ask around Marv. Like in order for us to stop with these questions, we've got to see plays like that made consistently. And, that bothered me, that play right there, because it wasn't like it was 2-on-1 or the ball was, a tough one to catch. He's got to come down with that. And I think he knows that, but it was disappointing.
Yeah, that was not fantastic. It's like, it's one of those where, it's just a stark reminder, like, yikes. That's not the play calling. That's not the quarterback. That's not the anything. Oh, man, he put his hand in between. It's like his original story. It's like you're trying to catch a ball playing kickball growing up where you have to put it between your chest and grab your arms around it. It's like this is, it's not fantastic. It's not fantastic. And not to pile on, I agree with you. And not to pile on, I'm going to read a tweet. What I like to do is talk about things 3 months before other people do when they say I'm dumb and then people come around. I don't do it on purpose. It just kind of happens. There's a tweet from Budda Baker today before the game. Jamil, you tell me if this is something or nothing. As a vet who's going to be 30 next year, he's still under contract for a year, and there's an out after the year after. The quote was, "Last one at home. I appreciate all the Cards fans." Now, of course, it's their last home game of the year. Is there a double message there that we're going to look at this offseason and be like, he's on a different team? With everything in flux, maybe he said, you know what? I'm going to take the money, as he should have got extended this offseason. After what he did last year, 100% should have got the money. And then he saw what happened this year. You're going into the question mark phase again of this organization. He's like, I love you. I've been here 8 years, and I'm out.
Yeah.
Do you see that in this tweet? Like, or am I just conspiracy right now until we learn more?
I mean, it's a little conspiracy in that, but I'm kind of here for it, in terms of when I think about Budda Baker, he's a guy that has been very outside. I mean, we've all seen the clip of him talking to the guys in the locker room.
Yeah,
a couple years ago when they were having a tough season. Like, this is a guy that if he's on a team like the Seahawks or, something like that, like he is at the top of the conversation every year. Now he's at the top of the conversation for the Cardinals, but because they've been coming up short, I think that wears on guys when they know that their ability is kind of superseding what the team is achieving. So, it could be a little conspiracy theory in there, but I would not be surprised because of how vocal he's been about where the team has been.
I was going to say, Clancy, two things can be true. One, Budda Baker will likely be gone next year because he's a 30-year-old safety. probably I haven't seen his cap, but maybe a cap casualty. And that had nothing to do with what he was tweeting. That the more I think about it, Clancy, there was definitely something put into that when he says that. Otherwise, he could have easily said last home game of the season, but he did say last game. He's 30. He's older. He might go to that organization and say he's done. And I mean, would it be the wrong thing to do from either side?
Well, I don't want to get into that yet. I mean,
I'm just saying, like
I don't want to get into that yet. I mean, but I have said Buda Baker's last couple of years of his career will be in Seattle. He went to Washington. He's going to go home. It makes too much sense.
Super Cup.
But yeah, so I don't know if that's now because Seattle's defense. So like, I don't know, man. It's just something. It's probably nothing, but it's probably not nothing. Just keep a look
while
for
we're
it.
there. Do we think we witnessed the last game of Calais Campbell at State Farm Stadium?
Yeah, I mean,
You think so? Do you think he goes somewhere else next year?
I think he might stay.
He loves it, dude. He's happy there, bro.
He loves
crazy.
it.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, what would that be?
Nuts,
Year
though.
14? Would that be year 14?
No, it's gonna be year like 20.
Oh.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Listen, I'm lost, but I wouldn't be surprised if he walks off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? But
19.
I think 19. Excuse me. Yeah, I think you need somebody like him because of the leadership and things that he brings. But I don't know, when you get up in your career like that, you want to play for a team that's on the brink because you want to try to win one so you can, feel good about yourself hanging it up. So, well,
he could have done that. He probably could have got more money somewhere else to do it for a 1-year thing. He probably could have gone to Philly. Everybody wanted him, but he came back. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to matter. I thought it was going to just for optics. And I said he was the most important offseason signing for the team to show things were turning around. Why does somebody let me do this show? I say so much dumb stuff in retrospect. It's the craziest thing. It's like, how are we here right now? How are we here with this roster and this team right now? Truly. I just don't know.
The easy answer to that is, and this is something I referenced at the early this season. Remember when we talked about, we got to move on, but remember when we talked about Clancy at the beginning of the season, and I said, and I didn't discount that this could be Jonathan Gannon and Monti Ossenfort's last year because it's the Arizona Cardinals and because that this happens all the time. Like, it's why I didn't discount it then. And it's why I don't discount it now that both guys could potentially be gone because of how the Arizona Cardinals have been constructed over the last couple of seasons. Mm-hmm. So I know it sounds like crazy town. Like, think of it like this. We all think it's crazy, but does anyone else spectating the NFL look at the Cardinals and really think mostly, oh, that's surprising, they're terrible again?
No. But you can't look at with you can't have a results angle at it. It's like, oh, obviously, most things don't happen that people say could happen. The majority of things don't happen. So it's easy to wait until it ends. It's like, oh yeah, obviously I told you it wouldn't happen. Then why would there ever be sports media? Let's just wait till something happens and react to it. The whole offseason is talking about incremental and concrete things this organization did to give themselves a better chance to win in 2025. And all of it has crumbled as if they were in 2021 when everybody got hurt or 2022 when everybody got hurt. This is undefinable why we're here. Injuries, coaching, playing, everything. It's undefinable that this is where we are through week 16. Truly, with everything that was done this offseason. I mean, is that fair? Like, don't you feel surprised that we're still here or no? Or that we got to this point through the last 6 weeks?
I'm surprised. I don't know. No, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. That old idea. But let's dive deeper into that. Let's get into the lessons of the game. Let's talk about how this changes the Cardinals off season potentially. And let's talk about it next. So although I'm not shocked, I am disappointed in the Cardinal season. Clancy, I saw you tweet this, and I'm surprised you're still on this island that the Cardinals should not use their top pick on a quarterback.
Yeah.
But does that change
No.
if Gannon comes back?
No. It should change if Gannon doesn't come back. Why would you have a rookie quarterback with a lame duck head coach? You have to learn a brand new offense next year. It doesn't make any sense. If you're gonna live out the contract and it's gonna work out timeline wise in great synchronicity, because this is historically a terrible quarterback class. So just because he's the second best in this class, he'll probably be seventh in the next one if he were to come out the year after. Like, let's not glamorize something and just look at what dude. Just watch college football, please. Watch college football and the two guys going number one. The Mendoza kid had statistically the worst Heisman season as a quarterback in 15 years. Just because he's the best this year doesn't mean he's going to be top 5 even next year.
To be fair, that was with Indiana. Wasn't with LSU and Jake Daniels and those. Well, that does matter statistically.
No, if they weren't 11-0, if they lost 3 games this year, it wouldn't be. Well, they won all the games. Look at who they played, dude. Come on, man.
Well, that's not true because they beat Illinois early in the season when Illinois was a good team. When Illinois was ranked, they beat Illinois by 50.
Okay,
yes, that
that's
matters.
silent.
And they beat Ohio
Jaguars.
State, and he made the biggest play in that game as well. Like, it does matter.
That was a good game.
Like, also, like you talk about. Like, again, this is
also they're not going to get to him because every team ahead of them outside of Tennessee could draft a quarterback.
We don't know that. The Panthers just traded up from 9 to 1 3 years ago, and I'm not saying it worked out or it didn't. I mean, they're going to win their division. It might work out here for Bryce Young. Like, the Cardinals, we are literally an eyelash away from being the 5th pick in the draft. It's not insane for Monti Ossenfort and JG to feel the heat. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, to go and draft that quarterback. You move up, and I'm like, listen, and I'm just telling you because this is what the precedent is. This isn't my bias on Marvin Harrison Jr. or revisionist history, but like, it's not insane for you to trade a wide receiver and Marvin Harrison Jr., a couple of first-round picks like the Panthers did. Like, it's not crazy. And I think if you're going to run it back with this team, you can't do it with, if you say lame duck head coach, I say lame duck quarterback, because what's going to change? And so I don't know, man. And I look at the history of great quarterbacks and what schools they've went to: Josh Allen, Wyoming; California, Aaron Rodgers; Tom Brady, Michigan. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's not nuts. And I was just surprised that you're go right tackle. Go right tackle.
I don't believe that this staff will develop a quarterback. I think that,
man, why are they here then?
I think I think that if you draft a quarterback in the first round, I think Jonathan Gannon gets fired within 6 to 8 weeks.
Games. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a disconnect there. He's not really a quarterback whisperer. Neither is Drew Petzing. Like, they don't get deemed, and there is guys out there that are labeled as that, but I just don't think this staff is one that will develop a quarterback.
There's only a couple different things that would make rational sense. And I know we're speaking about the Cardinals, so maybe we take it with a grain of salt. One, if you bring Jonathan Gannon back, you bring 2 seasoned coordinators to run the show and have JG do what Dan Campbell did up until this season. That's one. Okay. We've been talking about that for months. Number 2, if you draft a quarterback, there is no world Jonathan Gannon should be head coach. There is no world. Revisionist history with all of the guys. They got drafted, and there was that whole list, and their head coaches got fired mid-season. It's like, great. So now you have one less year on a quarterback rookie deal. He's got to learn everything again. You may bring another coordinator in. Like, it's the dumbest thing a team can do. And quote-unquote lame duck, that doesn't mean anything. The guy's got 1 year left on his deal. Maybe play for it, coach for it, earn it. But if there are 2 options. One, you bring him back. If the 2 coordinators go, you bring 2 dudes who are in their 50s who have done this for 25 years as coordinators, or you draft a quarterback and you fire everybody and you start over. You can't have both. You can't pick and choose one or the other, one flavor to go with the other.
So which one would you rather have?
Yes.
I am for jump starting the process. Start the process.
You can't force quarterback talent.
No, but I can force getting my new coaching staff in.
I don't know, man.
I think the best argument to be made to move off. By the way, I'm going to feel really good about that getting rid of both coordinators take last week, if that ends up happening, and it feels like that is going to happen. Speaking of getting out in front of things, listen,
dude, we talked about that for months, bro.
No, you
We've
never
been talking about this for so long.
Jamil, when did this guy say Nick Rawlis should be fired, or
I
that
said
he was
the
going
one
to be
thing
fired?
that they messed up was not hiring veteran coordinators with Jonathan Gannon.
Clancy, listen, I bat 1 for 10. That's not great, but we can say, hey, Ben, good job keeping that one in the field.
Terrible sentence. So 1 for 11. Good job, ball field in. Yes.
Well, look at that. 1 for 11 right there.
Yeah, all right. 9%.
I think the best argument to be made to move on from Gannon is the Bill Barnwell article that came out last week, where I think he's someone like statistically, what am I saying? History would say maybe he's not the most fondest of the Arizona Cardinals. He ranked them second out of the 7 potential coaching candidates, or 7 potential coaching openings. And I think of it like this. If it's true that the Cardinals are just in the top 3, how often are they ever seen as a potential prime destination to bring a new head coach in, and you could have potentially your pick at the litter? And if that's the case, when is that going to happen again? Even if you don't love the coaching candidates, how many times have you had to like settle on guys like Gannon or Steve Wilkes or Cliff Kingsbury, where you might actually be able to get the proverbial Mike Vrabel or Ben Johnson of this class that I know not as great of a class, but think about that for a second. Like, what if you could go get Clint Kubiak, who I know has got some question marks, but you jumpstart the process. You have a top 5 pick probably after the Titans won today, and you go get your guy. Like, it's not crazy. Even if I can see the Gannon argument with Clancy, the injuries, and I know Clancy's moved on from Gannon too, but the injuries that take, you know what I mean? Like, when are they going to be a top destination in a coaching cycle?
I don't know, man.
If 31 other teams aren't looking for a head coach,
and when you get a quarterback, that's really what it comes down to. I think what makes teams attractive is they already have a quarterback, and a coach can come in and say, all right, I don't have to worry about this. I can just put the staff around him that he needs to be successful. So now I don't know if they draft a quarterback. I don't know, but I think that's what makes teams, a destination.
Brian Daboll, OC, don't draft a quarterback. Jonathan Gannon gets fired midway through the season. Brian Daboll takes over, gets extended as the head coach.
100%. Listen, if Brian Daboll is your next offensive coordinator, you have to know that it is just a matter of time before he's your head coach. If things go south, I said it early on. I think Brian Daboll is going to be. There's going to be someone from the Patriot tree coming in because of
Monty,
because of Monty's ties with them. So it could be a Josh McDaniels if
God,
if his. Hey, I'm just saying.
Is Tom Brady coming with him?
I'm just saying these guys get so many turns to write their own story. So it could be him, it could be a Brian Daboll, it could be it could be anyone, man. But I do think if Jacoby's the quarterback next year, I think we're gonna see someone from that Patriot tree be the offensive coordinator, with the expectation that if things aren't working out, they're gonna be the next head coach.
I don't want to.
I can't do 17 weeks of Jacoby Brissett.
I can.
I can't do it.
Trey Benson, everybody healthy except for the entire defense that got hurt today for the next 18 months.
God, that sucks.
Listen, so the biggest lessons of the game is we went completely haywire there, which was fun because that's going to be a little look into what we're going to be talking about the entire offseason until somebody says that he's going to be here, Jonathan Gannon. Lesson of the game is, positive-wise, Will Johnson's going to be a dude. He's going to be a guy. He hit the rookie wall. Nico Collins ate pretty hard on him in that last touchdown against Houston. He had a couple, he's got handsy a couple times with some penalties, but by and large, he's looked good. The offensive line has been surprisingly good as of late. We'll see what happens if they add. The pass rush looks bad. And Chad Rollins got to go. Those are mine. Those are mine. Right? It's time.
My biggest one is, because I want to throw this one out there before Jamil takes it. I don't feel as bad about the offensive line anymore. I don't feel as bad. I actually think you truly are one right tackle away. And like, if they take Spencer Fanu, the right tackle coming out of Utah, like, I'm not going to freak out because they're taking what I think is like, if we're talking about baseball analogies here, like, that dude's a solid double and you feel good about that for years to come at minimum. And so, like, I feel really good about the offensive line. I don't think it's as far away as you once thought. And who knows, might be enticing to one Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Okay, cool, guys. I have no lessons. I have no lessons for this game. Like I said, a lot of missed opportunities.
Way to keep it real. 7
straight. It's getting a little out of hand. At some point, you put the pads on. You got to win one of these to end the season. Like, it can't be 8, 9, 10 game losing streak to finish the season. So, I don't have a lesson for us, guys.
Your lesson could be that it's going to be the link of the Patriots link, and it's just going to be Billy B, Josh McDaniels, the OC, and Tom Brady comes out of the booth.
Could you imagine Billy B? That would be crazy.
Jamil Douglas,
Billy B might fight.
Arizona Cardinals. Jamil Douglas, Arizona Cardinals hope. Pumpkin for 2026, 2025.
Big pumpkin.
I had to ask my wife about that pumpkin thing to understand it.
I bet you did.
She said the carriage turns. She just said that the carriage turns into a pumpkin. No one else does.
Yeah, the carriage turns into a pumpkin.
It is my favorite Alex Clancy saying. I love the pumpkin.
Ben,
thing.
is someone doing Elf on the Shelf for you? Like, do you have an elf since Christmas is close? Has there been? Have you like woken up to?
What do you mean? Of course.
Reindeer, like anything? I just want to know. Is someone doing elf?
Hey, you know what? Here's for the Christmas spirit. This is gonna make you guys laugh, and I like being the guy that brings the laugh. Yo, do you know this is true and nothing Cardinals related? We went to the Phoenix Zoo one time, me and my wife, and it said reindeer this way. And I told my wife, this is no joke. This is true. This is a true story.
I believe it.
I told my wife, why does it say reindeer this way? Who do they think they're getting with that? Like, what are you talking about? She goes, what do you mean? And I said, reindeer. Like, there's no such thing as a reindeer. I didn't know reindeer existed.
Jeez, bro.
Reindeer's a real thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was the thing that we made up for Santa Claus.
I know you did.
It was crazy.
I know you did.
Dude.
It is crazy.
And then I thought it was gonna be like you go to the reindeer and it was gonna like someone's gonna have
listen, that is really unfortunate, brother. I am sorry. And I hope you have a great Christmas.
I'll see you before Christmas. Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, Jamil, the invite, Clancy told me he got his. Mine, should it be in the mail?
Which invite we're talking about?
Christmas Eve dinner?
Oh, yeah. I sent it. You should be getting it. Just RSVP whenever you get it.
You'll be sitting at the kiddie table for sure.
Yeah. You'll sit with the rest of the little elves. Jeez. This guy.
Well, listen, it's been a tough season, but you know what? I've had a great time rocking with you guys, and I'm sure everyone has had a great time rocking with us as well. Comment in the chat if you knew reindeer were real before the age of 20. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. We'll be with you guys.
I promise we're professional. I promise.
We'll be with you guys later on this week, sometime in the midday. This week, we'll put it out there so you guys are able to catch on to it. We'll preview that game coming up next week in Cincinnati. We'll talk much more about the Arizona Cardinals head coaching potential search, what quarterbacks could look like, and heck, who knows? Maybe Jamil's going to tell me next that you're not supposed to leave milk and cookies out for Santa Claus. Talk to you guys soon.
I won't do that to you. Won't do that to you, brother.